Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the Axytoys Dinosaur Battlefield Dino Warrior. And I've never heard of Axytoys before seeing these figures, but I saw these online, I thought they looked amazing, and then I saw that 5K Toys was sending out some samples, and then they were giving out some samples, so I hit them up and I said, hey, if you guys have any more of those samples, I would love to take a look at the Dino Warriors, and they said sure, and they sent one out to me, so huge thank you to the folks over at 5K Toys for hooking it up. I do appreciate it, because I'm excited about this guy. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the packaging. I love what they did with the packaging. Here on the front, we have one of those old school types of, I don't know if you want to call it like holographic. I don't know exactly what this style is called. When I was little, I'm sure I was wrong, but I used to call it holographic because I feel like we used to see this gimmick a lot back in the day. And it's one of those things where like the image looks different depending on the angle that you're looking at it from. So straightforward like this, you could see the green Dino Warrior, and then you turn it to the side and you could see the red version, because there is a green and a red version available. So I think that's really cool how they did this on the box. And like I said, it kind of reminds me of my childhood, because back in the day, we used to see this gimmick all the time. And then on the side of the box, we get a look at the Dino Warrior. On the back, we get a look at the figures kind of standing there from different angles and stuff. Down here, we get a bunch of bullshit. On this side of the box, we get a look at the red version of the Dino Warrior. And then this is where it kind of gets really interesting. When you open this up, you are able to see the figure. Once again, I do apologize for the glare, but there it is. You're able to see the actual figure looking badass. And then on this side, we get some information about the backstory behind these guys. So I think it's really cool to give some information on them, and it kind of makes you like the figures that much more, knowing that there's a whole lore behind like this idea. Not even just specifically this character, just like a whole, like there's a whole world of different dinosaur, like, you know, type of creatures out there that kind of fight each other on this world or whatever. So I think it's very cool to give us some information about these figures and the story behind them. And I think it adds a lot to this character that, you know, not a lot of us are going to know too much about. So yeah, this packaging is very cool. I love that we have some information on there. I like the gimmick on the front here. I think that is a lot of fun. And in general, this is a very cool box for a cool looking figure. But enough about the box. Let's go ahead and get the dinosaur out and take a look. And so here we have the green Dino Warrior right out of the box. And man, I've got to say, this is a crazy ass figure. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I really think it's awesome. I love the design. I like how it has like that Viking, old school, ancient warrior kind of feel to it. And I think it looks really, really good. We do have some soft goods in here too, which is nice. We've got like the little loincloth, and this looks and feels good. So that is really dope. It doesn't like clash too much with the rest of the figure or anything like that. And, you know, one thing that I thought was really interesting about this figure is that you see all these spikes and things hanging around and stuff like that. All that stuff is modular. You could remove it, interchange it. Like, for example, you could remove the spike from the knee, put it onto the arm, maybe move down one of these spikes to here. Like, all that stuff had to be put onto the figure. None of it came on the figure. So when I took him out of the box, there was just a bunch of ports all over him. And even without the spikes, just with the ports, he looked cool like that too. It kind of worked naturally with the look of the armor. But once you put the spikes and stuff on there, he just, it just gets pretty insane. And these spikes are hella sharp. Like, I poked myself quite a bit already. Hasn't made me bleed or anything, but a few times I was handling the figure and it would catch me and I'd be like, ah, damn. But man, this is a very cool looking figure. And a lot of the armor is removable. Like, you could take off the shoulder pads. You could take off the wrist gauntlets once you remove the hands. You could remove the stuff from the waist, but you have to pop them apart. I wasn't able to get the shin guards off. Like, I couldn't remove the feet. And when I was trying to heat it up and take them off, it wasn't looking good. So I just left it alone. But, you know, I might try again with some type of different method, because I would like to see what the figure looks like with all the armor removed. And I kind of want to show off the articulation that way so we could see all the things that this figure is capable of, because he does have good articulation, especially for like a big, awkward looking character. But man, this thing looks amazing. Just he's going to look crazy standing on the shelf with all these things hanging off of him. Like, we have some bones and spikes and all kinds of stuff, some skulls. And it's a really cool looking figure. And as far as like the dinosaur himself, he looks amazing. He's got some great shading work, some different like colors of paint and things like that. He looks really, really dope. But yeah, this is a crazy ass figure, man. When I took him out of the box, I was like, damn, this thing is this thing is insane. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at the details because they really did a great job with the sculpting and the paintwork on the armor and on the figure himself. Which is by far the best thing about this guy. Whoever sculpted it really did an incredible job. Check out all the texture on the skin. Look at all the different colors and just all the good stuff that we have going on here. Look how detailed the sculpt is, like around the eyes and the nose and then like the horns. Look at that. Those look amazing. And it's all like highlighted by the really great paintwork on here. I like all the different shades of green that we see and then the lighter color on the underside of the dinosaur. It looks really dope. And then check out these things on the back. I don't know if you'd consider those spikes or whatever, but yeah, it looks really cool. Look at that, man. That's an amazing looking figure. I love the way the eyes look. Boom. They look red and crazy. Look at all that texture. And then check this out. Look how crazy the mouth looks. These teeth are amazing. Some of the best teeth I've seen on a 6-inch action figure. They look like actual teeth, to be honest with you. It may be hard to see right here on camera, but they look amazing. And look at the mouth in there. You've got that like bright pink tongue that looks crazy. Man, look at those teeth. Really amazing work. Yeah, definitely the best teeth I've seen on a 1/12 scale action figure. If this is 1/12 scale, maybe it's a little bigger, but yeah, man, amazing stuff. And then checking out all the armor. Look at this, man. This is crazy. Starting off here like on the actual armor pieces, I love the metallic kind of beat up, worn color that we have here. It looks metallic, but it looks old, you know. And then down here we have like these leather pieces that look really good. We've got a spike thing here, and you know, that's modular. Obviously I could pop that off and move it around. And you could actually pop off like these pieces too. If you want to like simplify it a little bit, maybe just put some spikes in there or something. That'd be dope. But yeah, there's so many display options with this armor. And check out this necklace with the skull hanging down the front here. And look at all the detail on these teeth and everything. And then the texture on the body itself looks amazing too, down in the body. It's not as detailed as the head, only because, you know, the head has more going on. But yeah, this looks really, really dope. And check out the armor on this side. Look at the straps and buckles and stuff. Or not buckles, but you know, like little metal rings. And then we do have some like soft goods fur stuff under there. Man, I love the way this looks. That metallic armor looks really dope. And then we have like the brown leathery parts for like around the forearm. And look at the leather. It just looks worn and messed up. Looks like he's gone to war a couple of times with all this stuff on, you know. And then look at this. Boom, this is really dope. And that could come off too if you want to. You can move these teeth and just kind of switch things up. It's really cool. Man, the detail on this thing is insane. Look at all that shit. Man, they killed it right here with the sculpting work. I'm going to try to show you guys as much as I can, but yeah, you really have to see it in hand to get a good like sense of how crazy the sculpting work is, you know. And in order to really appreciate all the stuff we have going on, you've definitely got to see this in hand. It's crazy. Look at that. And then he does have like a loincloth that is soft goods, and this is pretty good too. I like it. I usually don't like stuff like this, but this worked out pretty good. It's high quality. It's not like shedding or anything. And it blends in very well with the style of the armor and stuff. We have some more like skulls and bones and stuff. Really, really dope. Crazy, man. Damn. And I like how the nails have a bit of a shine to them too. That's cool. And then this matches like the forearm style, you know. And again, you know, all these pieces do come off. This part comes off too, but it's just a little hard to grip because it's straight. Boom, there we go. So you can move things around and switch it up and, you know, get creative with it. Yeah, man, incredible. Really, really impressive sculpting work on this guy. The head looks really, really dope. I love the way the teeth and the mouth look, the eyes, the horns, all of that looks really, really well done. I love the scales and texture on the skin itself. It looks really nice throughout the whole figure. And then the armor, like the detail on all the armored pieces is insane. Like you could grab this figure and just kind of stare at it and just find little things here and there that just look amazing. So yeah, whoever sculpted this did an incredible job. Really nice work. And then for accessories, aside from all of the armor pieces that we've looked at, he does come with two different sets of gripping hands. The first set have a like big wide open grip, and these should be able to hold on to the bigger weapon that he comes with, but I think that the hands are just a little too open wide, so they don't really get a really good grip on the big weapon. So I'm going to try to use some hot water and cold water to close the grip up a little bit. And then he does come with a set of gripping hands that have a tighter grip, and these are really good to hold on to the smaller knife that he comes with, but they're too tight of a grip to hold on to the bigger weapon. But yeah, I do like that he came with two sets of hands. I wish that he came with some like fist or just some open hands, something besides gripping hands, but I like that he has gripping hands that are intended for both weapons. I just wish that the wider gripping hands had a better grip on the big weapon. Speaking of the big weapon, this thing is crazy. I love the design. Look at this thing, man. He could really do some damage with either side of this. He could, bam, stab someone in the head or just bash their skull. But man, look at that. I love the design too. It's got a very ancient kind of feel to it. This is really cool. And then the handle looks like it's made out of bone. Yeah, definitely made out of bone. Boom, look at that. And then we have like the grip part that looks like it's kind of wrapped up or something. But man, this is a really cool weapon. I like this quite a bit. And then the knife here is really cool too. Looks like it's made of a bone or a tooth or something. Yeah, so the weapons are really, really dope. And then now for some size comparisons. Here we have the Dino Warrior alongside one of the Mattel Amber Collection Raptors from Jurassic Park. I think it's a raptor. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments. On the opposite side, we have another dinosaur, and I think that's a raptor too, actually. Like a more historically accurate version of a raptor, I think. But that one's made by Creative Beast Studios, and that thing is awesome. They make some incredible dinosaur figures. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool to have this Dino Warrior running around with a couple of raptors, although I don't know how well that works in the lore of the character. That kind of seems like Goofy having Pluto as a pet, you know? I don't know. Like maybe the raptors are like a part of their society that just, you know, that has like human type traits like them. I don't know. So it kind of seems weird to have the Dino Warrior have a raptor as a pet, but maybe that'll work in the lore. I don't know. Either way, I do think he looks really cool next to these figures. And then next up, we have him alongside another one of the Creative Beast dinosaur figures. I'm not sure exactly what type of dinosaur this is. I keep wanting to call it a Triceratops, even though I know it's not a Triceratops because he only has 2 horns. But this is a really cool figure. It's glow in the dark and has a bunch of articulation. Again, if you want some really dope dinosaur figures, check out Creative Beast Studios. On this side, we have the NECA wolf from the American Werewolf in London. And I think he looks really cool next to this dinosaur, and you could probably set up some cool battles between the two of them because this wolf doesn't look like just a normal wolf. It looks big and, you know, almost like a big, ancient, weird, like, creature, you know? Like, it could fit into, like, a prehistoric setting. So, it would be nice to have a couple more of these and have them battle against the dinosaurs. And then next up, we have the Dino Warrior alongside the Mattel Masterverse New Eternia He-Man and the Storm Collectibles Golden Axe Gilius Thunderhead. And then next up, we have him alongside one of the Series 1 Combatants Fight for Glory figures from Zesray Studios. I don't know that character's name, but he was my favorite out of Wave 1. He's awesome. On the opposite side, we have a Mythic Legions Balaam figure. And then, of course, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. Next up, we have him alongside the new Marvel Legends Retro Card Lizard and the Axytoys Universal Monsters Creature from the Black Lagoon. And then here we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Armadillo Build-A-Figure and the Marvel Legends Retro Card Rhino. And as you could see, this Dino Warrior is pretty damn big. Even next to like bigger Marvel Legends figures, he looks pretty, you know, big and intimidating. And then here we have the Dino Warrior alongside the Hasbro Marvel Legends Sauron Build-A-Figure and the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Dragon Man. And you might be able to use this Dino Warrior as like a henchman for Sauron or something. Maybe it's like like a superhero that he turned into a dinosaur or something, because, you know, that's what he likes to do. Instead of putting his intellect to something constructive, he wants to turn people into dinosaurs. And then for the final size comparison, here's the Dino Warrior alongside the brand new Marvel Legends Black Panther and a Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper. So yeah, I wanted to go all over the place with the size comparisons because, you know, you could do all kinds of different things with this Dino Warrior. He kind of fits in with different lines and different types of themes and things like that. So hopefully one of the size comparisons were helpful for you. And before we take a look at the articulation, I wanted to give you guys a good look at the body without all of the armor pieces. And plus, I wanted to remove all that stuff so it wasn't in the way when we were actually articulating the figure. This way, we get a good sense of what all the joints are really capable of. But as you could see, it's a really cool looking figure even without all of that really dope looking armor. I like the muscle work, the scales, the paint, the different shades of green look really cool. Yeah, so this is a great looking figure. And the armor, I love that the armor is able to be removed and stuff. And for the most part, it's pretty easy. Like when you're trying to remove the armor off the arms themselves, you just pop the hands off. And then there's other areas where like the armor actually plugs into the figure. You just unplug them. So that's all very simple and straightforward. Around the waist, to remove the loincloth and the belt thing that he has, you do have to pop the figure apart, but it's pretty easy. You can pop them apart and put them back together without like a whole lot of effort. As you can see, it just pops together very easily. But when it comes to the lower legs, it's nearly impossible to remove the feet. So it was very hard to get the lower leg shin guards off of the figure. I had to heat the feet up for a very long time in order to get them soft enough to be removed. And even then, it was very like risky, you know, like I thought I was going to break the figure. You know, thankfully it turned out okay and I was able to remove the feet and get the shin guards off. I think I might have to modify the feet so they come on and off easier because I like the feature of the removable armor and it all works really good until you get to the lower legs. So that's one thing I think they could have done a little better. And yeah, like I said, I might have to modify it and see if I can make it work. But yeah, this is a cool figure, man. Even without the armor, like I said, I'm really curious to see what people do like in the customizing world with the body like this. You know, it could obviously work for somebody like the Lizard or maybe like Killer Croc or somebody like that. So, yeah, this is cool, man. I love the way this guy looks. And then on to the articulation. You know, when he has all the armor pieces, it's very hard to articulate the figure. And even more so when you start to plug in all the spikes and stuff because he's just hard to handle because you could grab him and like poke yourself and it's not very fun. But once you remove the armor, he's a whole lot of fun to play with. He's got some great articulation. There are some areas where they sculpted things in a way that kind of like makes it a little weird when you're moving him around. But, you know, after playing with it for a little bit, it worked out just fine. But let's go ahead and take a look starting off at the head and the neck. So the head itself doesn't have any articulation. It doesn't move or anything, but it does move at the lower neck. There's like a ball joint in there, so it swivels like that. And then it goes up to right there, and then it comes down to right there. So pretty good stuff there. And then for the torso, he does have a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist. Using both of those, he could crunch forward a pretty decent amount. Then it could go back to about right there. And then, you know, we get some side-to-side movement and stuff like that. So pretty good work at the torso. And you could swivel at the waist and swivel at the diaphragm. And then for the arms, like this is where it's a little weird. As you can see, the shoulder, it looks very nicely sculpted. But they didn't leave enough room for the shoulders to move freely. It does move, but it gets a little tight when you get like up here. So I kind of want to trim a little bit in here so that the arms could move more freely. As you can see, they do move as it is, but it's really tight because the shape of the shoulder. And then his arms are able to come up to about right there, which is nice. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. He's got a single jointed elbow that bends to about right there, so it's about 90. And then a little bit of a swivel in there. At the hands, we have ball joints at the wrist that swivel around, and then the hand can swivel itself. And then for the legs, his legs could come up to about right there, which is not a whole lot, but, you know, it's okay. They could kick to the side a pretty decent amount for those Dino side high kicks. There we go. And then he does have upper thigh swivel, which is nice. And then he does have a single jointed knee that also has a swivel in there. And then at the ankle, we have I thought it was a ball joint at first, but it's not. The foot itself is just on a hinge kind of situation, so it hinges up and down like that. And then he does kind of have a bit of a rocking ankle situation, but not really. There's just a peg in there and the foot kind of swivels on it, but it doesn't really rock, necessarily. I mean, the foot swivels itself on that peg, but it doesn't really work like a rocking ankle. But yeah, I think for a character with this type of design, he does have pretty decent articulation. Oh, and then we have the tail, which is on this. I mean, I don't know if you want to consider this like a hinge or what, but check it out. It's like a little thing like that. It's not really all that tight though. So like when you bring it up, it just kind of falls down, and then it doesn't swivel or anything. But the tail does have a bendy wire, so that's really nice. Look at that. Boom. There we go. I do like the bendy wire in there. It could help support him. But yeah, I think the articulation on this guy is acceptable for a character with this type of design. He's got a big, crazy looking design, a lot of weird muscles and just weird proportions and all that. And I think with all that considered, they put a lot of good stuff in here. But I do think that they could have given some of the joints a little bit more clearance to make the articulation function just a little bit better. But, with a big, like, crazy-looking dinosaur guy like this, I wasn't expecting a whole bunch of articulation. He actually has more than I thought he would, so I'm pretty happy with it. And, when you remove the armor, he is a lot of fun to play with. So I think as far as the articulation goes, it's not the greatest in the world, but it's definitely acceptable for this character with this type of design. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I think this is a really cool figure. I love the way that he looks. I think he's got a very interesting and unique character design. It seems like the type of character that I would like to hear more about. It would be awesome if they put out some comic books or something to go along with these guys. But yeah, man, this is a very cool looking character, and they did a great job with the sculpting work on him. I like the way they did the armor, how it has all these modular pieces and things like that. We've got these spikes and bones and teeth, and it's cool how you can move them all around and just change it up and make the figure look different and unique. And it would be cool like if the other dinosaur warriors in this line had like armor pieces that look different from this one that you could kind of swap onto him or like, plug into the ports and just kind of customize between a couple of the different figures. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I think it's a very cool concept that they have here with the modular pieces. And even if you take them all out, the figure still looks good. The ports look natural in the armor, so it's cool. But yeah, this is a great looking figure. That's really what this guy has going for it. As far as articulation goes, there's a lot of articulation on the body, but it's really difficult to pose this figure around, especially when you have the armor on. And even more so when you have all the spikes and teeth and stuff in the ports. I keep poking myself on this damn thing. Like every time I go to try to grab his torso, I poke right here, I'm like, oh shit, and then down here, oh damn, whatever. So if you want to enjoy the articulation, you definitely have to remove as much armor as possible. And I like that the armor is removable, but I wish that the hands and the feet were able to pop off easier so it would be easier to take off all those armor pieces. Because as far as I can tell, like on the belts and, these things and the shin guards, there's nothing that unlatches that makes it easy to pop these off. You have to pop the hands and the feet off, and that's very difficult. So I wish that was easier. Aside from that, I do wish that he came with some more hands, like some tighter gripping hands, because this weapon can go in the hand, but it's kind of loose. It just kind of flops around. So it would be cool if he came with some more hands. But aside from that, I'm really happy with this figure. I think they killed it. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on Axytoys. I've never heard of them before, but when I saw these figures, I thought it looked amazing. And I'm happy to see that this thing came out really, really dope. And this kind of reminds me of like, Street Sharks or Extreme Dinosaurs or something, something in that kind of realm where they take these types of animals and creatures and make them almost like humanoid, but it looks like it won't really work, but somehow they kind of put it together and it works out. Like you don't think a dinosaur with human body parts would really work, but in this case it does. Same kind of vibe like with Street Sharks. You think about a shark, you don't really see it working as like a humanoid type of thing, but back in the day they made it work. And I was a huge fan of those types of cartoons, so this like type of creature really does appeal to me. And like I said, I think they did a great job with it. It's a beautiful looking figure. And he's gonna look unique on the shelf, If you have him on your shelf along with like your Mythic Legions or something, these dinosaurs are gonna stand out. It would be nice to get a couple more of these and have a little army of these Dino warriors and have them go up against like, Mythic Legions or like Conan. How cool would that be to have them fight Conan? Or maybe have them fight the X-Men. Maybe they could be like Savage Land Mutates or something, It's all kinds of cool things you could do with these guys. But yeah, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Axytoys and see what else they come out with. Hopefully they continue to do like interesting and unique things like this, because this is definitely out of the box, and you know, this is like a very unique thing. We're not going to get something like this from any other companies. So yeah, they're killing it, man. Hopefully they keep doing their thing. And, you know, I'm very thankful that I was able to have the chance to take a look at this. So huge thanks to the folks over at 5K Toys for sending this out to me. I really do appreciate it. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. If you're not aware, I do go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and every Friday at 7 p.m. So come through. Let's talk about toys and get weird. Thank you very much. Peace.